Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generation discussion on the fallout from Boruto Chapter 77. And today, I want to talk to you guys about something I've seen in the comments a lot now, that Kawaki sealed away both Naruto and Hinata, which is not only the idea that Kawaki's gone too far by sealing away Naruto, but also there are a lot of people from what I've been seeing that are saying that the Boruto manga has gone too far to the point of making a mistake by sealing away Naruto and removing him from the story. So in today's video, I want to discuss if this was indeed the case and how much it impacts the story in both a negative and both a positive route. So jumping right into it, I want to start off with the latter question, which is if this was a mistake by sealing away Naruto, removing him from the story, and what the positive and negative outcomes for this will be. For this one, I'm just going to rip the band-aid off. You guys know normally I try to get both sides of a position of voice on the channel. It's why I'll discuss fan theories I don't really agree with, because it's one, cool water cooler talk. It's no different than what you'll do if you post the same theory on Reddit. The only difference is I'll make a video on it. And number two, we're a community, and I'm not big-headed enough to think that my audience opinion doesn't matter or doesn't deserve a voice. I try to treat this channel like, hey, best friend and best friend talking about a series that we love in terms of Naruto. However, for this one, I think not only is this a good idea to take Naruto out the story, I think it should have been done at the very beginning of the series. You guys know my stance by now. The fact that 96% of the fan base keeps saying, wait for the time skip, Boruto Shippuden's about to be lit, Boruto Shippuden will shut up all the hater, and Boruto Volume 1 having the tease to what's to come with the time skip and it being the highest selling volume of the franchise is proof that the interest that the fan base has, so much of it is on this much delayed time skip the fans got teased with 7 years ago that has gotten so big with expectations. I worry it's not going to live up to it, and that the story should just start it there instead of doing a movie recap and making Boruto Part 1 an entire flashback to Boruto's childhood. I say that to say Boruto's manga, writing Naruto out the story by sealing him away, we needed that. How many times have you seen those stupid hot takes where people say nobody uses hand seals or ninjutsu in Boruto anymore, or that the only good fights in this series are when Naruto and Sasuke end up fighting? That's not a good sign when you slice it either way. The first take about nobody using ninjutsu goes back to those people are only those who are watching clips of the series on YouTube, or they see clips on Twitter when Naruto and Sasuke are fighting and they see them fighting against people they can't use ninjutsu against, so their knee-jerk reactions that nobody uses ninjutsu anymore, when in reality it's literally just what we were warned was going to happen during year 1 of Boruto's manga run, during one of the last sit-downs that Masashi Kishimoto did talking about Boruto before fully handing the reins over to Ikimoto in terms of publicity. Back then, Kishimoto said that he was worried about Naruto and Sasuke being so much stronger now and facing enemies who are so much more powerful than what we've seen, that their fights are going to overshadow the kids, even with their fights being scaled down. You can see the idea behind how he and Kodachi attempted to try and fix it, give Naruto and Sasuke the stronger enemies who just happen to be able to absorb jutsu in the form of Momoshiki, Kenshiki, Delta, and Jigen, or they have the ability to shrink jutsu on top of being an entire tier stronger than them in the form of Karma version 2 Jigen and Ishiki Otsuki. That in turn forces the fights to be scaled down to just taijutsu and not planet busting chakra blasts and all these insane combination ninjutsu that you saw towards the end of Naruto's run. Then you get Boruto in this generation the battles against people who can't absorb jutsu, which in turn lets the kids show off some of their more creative jutsu and make their battles even flashier than what you see with Naruto and Sasuke, because Naruto and Sasuke, they're just using taijutsu. The kids, they're using ninjutsu. However, the problem that is created is that you have a bunch of casuals who only watch Naruto and Sasuke's fight, who in turn then say ninjutsu doesn't exist in the series anymore, when in fact it does. It's just the kids are the ones using ninjutsu because they aren't in literal matchups with hard counters to their arsenal. Then on the other hand, you run into the issue that while the anime fights were Kawaki versus Goro or Boruto versus Ao, they were cool to look at, and if we saw 12 or 13-year-old Naruto and Sasuke pulling off those same exact things, those same people who are hating on the series, they would absolutely suck it off. The issue is still, no matter how you cut it, Naruto and Sasuke versus Fused Momoshiki remains one of the best fights, in particular when it comes to anime. The same with Naruto and Sasuke versus Jigen and Baryon Mode Naruto versus Ishiki. The common denominator here is you have Naruto's presence, whose fight has elevated so much higher than all the others we got in the series. Even when you look at the Japanese polls for the best fights in Boruto, Naruto and Sasuke both dominate the top 5 lists in one of the Japanese polls that came out last year. That's fine if Boruto were to say to have taken the Dragon Ball approach, where once we got to Dragon Ball Ball chapter 195, Goku's son Gohan was introduced into the story. While it was quickly becoming clear that there was a second main character being introduced in the form of Gohan, it was still clear this was Goku's story, and even as it was being transitioned to being a story of father and son, it was still very much Son Goku's story. Even though his child had arguably the second biggest arc for a bulk of the next 300 chapters of the series, Boruto, despite borrowing heavy from Dragon Ball, couldn't accomplish that due to one major difference between the two stories. It tried to split the baby by having part 1 of the story be the story of father and son, and then have part 2 of the story just be only the story of the son, which is fine, but when you get to where we are now, where there's a transition going on and we're moving to only Boruto's story, there's a good argument that can be made that Boruto alone over the last 7 years, he might not have made enough progress to be strong enough to fill that void that's left by Naruto. But given the decision was made to make part 2 Boruto's story, he deserves a chance to do it and win over fans, because we didn't go that Dragon Ball route where Goku got so strong that Toriyama found creative ways to have him written out the majority of the arcs in the final 300 plus chapters of the story to allow the other cast members to have cool fights and to have their moments where they grow and have more conflict ripen before having Goku sweep in and wrap things up. We didn't go that route. Now, the other thing is that we're finally getting to a point where absence of Naruto can be used for conflict. The narrative of if things just get too out of hand, Naruto and Sasuke can step in, that's all gone now. It should have been made clear when Kurama died and Naruto lost his power as a Jinchuriki, while he's still insanely powerful without Kurama. He's not walking up to a Jigen level or a Jigen plus level threat, and he's not pulling out some crazy jutsu that turns the table. Skill and creativity can't make up for a power gap if it's too large. Even Boruto prior to this admitted that they were going to have to train because they can't rely on Naruto anymore. But in the chapter where Naruto was sealed away, the child inside of Boruto still came out and he was telling Damon, yeah, you think you're so tough, but wait until you see my dad or Sasuke. Boruto right now, hey, he's gonna have a wake-up call. Naruto being gone at this point in time does give room to discuss whether or not any other characters are truly safe right now, and that's something that this series needs because it finally starts taking some of the handcuffs off of the villains that we got. Because now, if they want to, they can actually kill somebody. The downside, though, is that it's going to come down to, has Boruto grown enough as a character for casual fans to be invested in the story because Naruto's no longer there? It's just Boruto right now. In 2016, people were annoyed with the movie recap, but they were interested to pick up the manga briefly when Naruto and Sasuke fought Momoshiki and when Boruto got his Karma Seal. It was a package deal. But then the interest dropped off over the next year when the manga tried to focus solely on Boruto. Boruto fighting Jonin level threats like Shojoji and fighting an elite Jonin and Ao who have been enhanced by Ninja Tech. The manga community was not anywhere near as strong as it is right now as it was back then. Only the hardcore Boruto fans were the ones that were reading. There wasn't much casual investment. Once Kawaki got introduced in 2018, the interest from casual fans began to pick up because it's like, wait a second, we saw this Kawaki kid in chapter 1. Let me see what Boruto's talking about. I saw it firsthand on YouTube with the search data. Boruto's interest really began to pick up around that time. The dying embers of internet forums back then were like, say, Naruto base or Naruto forums, which is now like I think called Fanverse right now. And you saw some of the interest pick up on Reddit, and back when Google Plus was still a thing, you still saw it pick up on Google Plus around that time. Then we started getting more of Naruto and Sasuke in the story, and casual fans at least keeping tabs on what happened in Boruto. Even people who swore up and down that they hated Boruto, they still knew what was going on between 2018 and 2020 because Naruto and Sasuke were still heavily involved in the story, in particular when it comes to the big moments. I think the rise and fall of this is going to come down to, can Boruto as a lead character draw in those same casual fans or draw in new casual fans? Because just having a dedicated fan base of hardcore fans alone, it isn't going to be enough to sustain the franchise in terms of manga readership. This is largely going to fall on, can Boruto losing everything make him both a sympathetic character and give casual fans a reason to root for him? It's a very real concern because for the last couple of years, Kawaki's been that character who has ranked in the broader Japanese male anime character polls, whereas Boruto hasn't cracked that list in years. It's not even about Kawaki having the focus shifted onto him in the manga. Even when Naruto is running weekly as a manga, during stretches where Naruto is placed on the back burner and Sasuke's arcs were at the forefront of the story for long stretches, like say spring 2007 to late summer 2008, where Naruto was barely in the manga, Uzumaki Naruto still held the interest of casual fans. Uzumaki Naruto is still ranking on broader popularity lists. Casual fans were just as invested in Naruto as they were in Sasuke. Boruto's got to match and overtake that with Kawaki. Even more so if there's a decision made to write Sasuke out the story the same way they did Naruto. I've said before, I can see what's being attempted with Boruto, but I'm not sure if delaying ripping off the band-aid was the best idea. Now, on the other hand, this idea that Kawaki's gone too far in universe by sealing away Naruto, ignoring the foreshadowing that has always been there, I honestly don't think Kawaki went far enough. But how we were given the betrayal is absolutely poetic. Kawaki used Naruto's emotions as a blind spot to seal him away. Only Hinata, with that mother's instinct, knew that something dangerous is inside of my home, threatening my family. Whereas Naruto in the Japanese lettering was taking the stance of, okay, this is starting to get creepy, you're creeping me out right now, and trying to see the reason behind Kawaki. Hinata's instincts, where this time is different than all the other times. It's not just our son in danger, we're in danger. I think Kawaki's done enough to get a lot of heat out of fans right now, but that line by Naruto where he tells Kawaki he's going to have to kill Naruto first before he can do any harm to Boruto, that felt like it needed a little bit more in terms of a follow-up. However, if Naruto were to get yeeted across the room like that by Kawaki and watch his wife get smacked unconscious, that might have left too sour of a taste in the mouth of a lot of fans, especially given Naruto's about to be sealed away, and arguably it would have been out of character for Kawaki to physically harm Naruto unless Naruto's literally protecting Boruto in that moment. The whole concept of it being, it hurt me to do this to you, but if you hate me, you can kill me afterwards, that whole angle is something that's clearly done to protect both Kawaki and Naruto. I don't think Kawaki's gone too far, but I do think he's done enough to work up the fans, and in that one moment, he's generated more heat than Code's generated over the last 20 chapters. The only question left here is how far does Kawaki spiral, and can Kawaki spiral make Boruto more sympathetic to the casual fan? Because right now, with Naruto being out the picture and arguably Sasuke soon to follow afterwards, Boruto's gonna have to step up, and there's probably gonna have to be one more character in the series, maybe someone like Sarada, or maybe you continue to see someone that's an antagonist like, say, Momoshiki continue to step up. Someone else is going to have to step up in order to fill that void, because you need to keep the casual fan fully invested. Maybe you can do that with the whole we have to rescue Naruto angle. Maybe that's something that can work, and that's what I want to know from you guys. Do you guys think that that's actually sustainable? And why do you think the casual fan per se hasn't gravitated over towards Boruto in the same way that they did to Kawaki? And why do you think that Boruto's fights were overshadowed by Naruto and Sasuke's fights in the eyes of the Japanese fans? Or you think that over, click here to watch this Naruto explain video, or click here for the KRYPTONIAN SAIYAN video.